What is going on, YouTube? It's Yoda coming back at you. Now, you may have noticed that recently, if you visited your local Walmart, things are looking a little peculiar. You may have noticed that inventory is starting to seem rather low yet again. I mean, I know I've noticed it where I live. And in fact, you may have noticed that there are many stores that are slowly but surely running out of inventory and they don't have product on the shelf. Now, what is going on? Surely we have to have recovered from the initial COVID-19 pandemic by now, right? Now, I'm sure that a lot of these shortages do have to do with the most recent COVID-19 variant, the Omicron variant. I don't know about you guys, but everyone has been sick. And actually, it got so bad here that the urgent cares were overrun with patients trying to get a test. But regardless of the fact that this new Omicron variant is wreaking havoc across the nation and across the world right now, there's something else going on. And it definitely poses a huge problem. Now, according to reports, dozens of Manitoba truckers are parading their vehicles up and down Highway 75 near the international border, that's the US-Canada border, to protest vaccine mandates, particularly those impacting their jobs. Now, we'll dive into what those vaccine mandates are in a second here, but this is actually big news, and this could be the beginning of something that is pretty terrible, guys. So as of January 15th, new federal rules mandate that Canadian truck drivers returning from the US have to quarantine if they're not vaccinated. An American mandate will begin on January 22nd, stating that all drivers heading into the US must also be vaccinated. So under these new rules, unvaccinated truckers returning from the US have to head home for nearly 2 weeks before making another run. Now, there's really no mystery as to why these truckers are so frustrated about this. I mean, really, obviously, it's because they don't have time to quarantine. It's actually causing a huge problem because these truckers are blocking the highway on the US-Canadian border, which, I mean, first of all, it's not allowing traffic to get through, obviously, but they're not making their orders in protest. And in my opinion, this is a massive reason that we're going to start seeing a lot of shortages because honestly, guys, this is only going to get worse if these mandates continue. Now, I'm not going to take a side personally, either pro-vaccine or against vaccine, but regardless of what side I take, there's a lot of people out there that do not want to get the vaccine. And they believe that it's their right to not get the vaccine. Quote, "We need to end all of the totalitarian mandates that our government has imposed on us for the last 2 years." And this is coming from the organizer of this protest or this event, Rick Wall. And then he goes on to say, quote, "This is put on by truckers, but we are calling to end all mandates for every single human being in this country, not just for us. It's extremely frustrating," end quote. So you guys, whether or not you agree with the vaccine mandates, and whether or not you agree with them mandating a vaccine to get into either country at this point, I think that we can all agree that we do not want truckers not making deliveries. And honestly, guys, I really think that we underestimate how important truckers are to our modern day society. Like, you literally cannot get food if they do not make their deliveries. You literally cannot get what you need if they do not make deliveries. So realistically, again, whether you agree with these vaccine mandates or not, the trucking industry has massive political pull here because they're doing what the average person doesn't want to do. I don't want to drive a truck for weeks on end, and I don't want to have to leave my family, and I'm sure you don't either. Now listen, I can't think of another industry that would impact the economy and society as a whole as much as truckers would if they just stopped delivering. Honestly, I want to challenge you. Put down in the comments if you can think of another industry that if it were to just stop today, if it were to just cease to exist today, what other industry would have a more detrimental impact on our civilization than trucking? This is actually really scary stuff because we're seeing real world examples of how one demographic makes a decision based on legislation and it trickles down to the rest of us and it impacts every single one of us. It's scary stuff, guys. It really is. So I guess we'll continue to see how this story develops and see what happens here, but something's got to let up because it seems to me like it's only going to get worse if these mandates don't loosen a little bit. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you like my content, hit that bell for me so you get notified every single time I upload. But until next time, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm going to be over here stocking up on toilet paper again, I guess.